Good morning. Good morning. This morning, well, every morning, I've been waking Ace up, and I feed the fish. I don't see me. Honey, yes. You gonna come here? Come here. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. All God's children. Good morning. Good morning. Hi, Chloe. I don't see my picture yet. That's a little concerning. But, hi, Sarah. Do you all see me? Children, good morning. Okay. Something terrible has happened. What? Oh, there's my face. Okay. Bonjour. Let's see. Webcam? This stream can be accessed again from the manage list. Exiting will not. Okay. Now, well, I don't understand. I see you. Okay. Oh my gosh, Chloe. Oh, you tried to, yeah, you tried to break your fall, didn't you? That is seriously the worst. I'm sorry. I got my invisibility visor on this morning, y'all. Things went a little sideways, and I did not have time to do my hair. So, me and Rosie are here for you, though. If I turn it down just a little bit, you may be able to see her. Right? I feel that. I'm trying to watch and see how far I can turn this down so you can see. Rosie. Maybe a little more? Okay. I mean, nobody needs to see the top of my head anyway. All right, can we talk about... Oh, now I feel like I got lipstick on my teeth. Guys, I'm so sorry. Look, being a girl is a struggle. So, sorry, Chloe, prayers for you and your sweet little wrist that, you know, you really, thank God you're not, you know, like chubby, because I fell, I did not, I did not break my wrist, but I fell, and I held on to my bike because I was afraid of that, and it, like, the pain shot across my whole body for, like, I want to dramatically now say at least a week. Of course, I was older, you know, clearly I was older than you are, and you'll heal faster, much faster. So now that I feel like we've got, good morning family, now that I feel like, oh, I was going to tell y'all. So I have started this obnoxious thing where every morning when I get up, I've trained the fish to where I say, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. And the fish get so excited, and Rosie gets so excited. Good morning, Logan. Good morning, Chloe. So that's why I'm obnoxiously screaming that at you all. Okay, can we talk about the YouTube video real quick that you guys watch? I haven't looked to see who did what. I got that off of my APES Facebook page, and I thought it would be perfect. I thought you guys would love it. And then I got, not a lot, but I got some emails about, I don't know what to do. And I was like, are you kidding? Good morning, Xander. So let me be clear on what I expected some of you to do, and then let me be clear on what I expected others of you to do. So one of your 2 FRQs is to design an experiment using the scientific method, which is exactly what that man said. And at the end of the video, there was a slide, and it listed yes, the dude that put the avocado on his head. It listed all the steps that he would use for the scientific method. Now, he did not put in there, although he did talk about it, sample size. He did not put in there repeat, I don't think. So it wasn't exactly what I would want you guys to put in there, but it talked about dependent, independent variable, null hypothesis we're going to cover in the days to come. Not today, but in the days to come. And he did talk about control. The point was, I expected some of you guys to watch it and just copy that last slide down. Like, that's the reason why I used the same exact words in the question on your Google Classroom page as he did in that video. He did say replicate, right? But did he say it on the last page? I don't know. I felt like he was missing out on some of that. Rosie, honey, sweet sugar. I mean, she just wants to like lay down on me. Can you guys still see me if I'm going to have to wait and see what this does. Okay. So, anyway, repeat. So I expected some of you guys just to write that down and be like, this is what she wants. I'm just going to regurgitate it back out to her. Done, done, done. Others of you, I expected for it to immediately hit you. This is what my FRQ is. And I got to figure out how to do this. And I expected you to like go all in and come up with, like, if I were set with an FRQ that asked me to do an experimental design, here's how I would do it. So it was kind of your first step in, not your first step, because we've already covered the scientific method, like chapter 1, but it was like your step back into, you've got to be able to, the cutest little brown bird just landed on our porch, my apologies. You got to get in it to win it. If you do not know how to do the scientific method, you gotta. I'm going to continue. I know, I just know, I haven't looked yet, but I just know that one of the 2 mock FRQs that you're going to be given is going to be designing an experiment. If you cannot, like, when I just said, take me through the steps of the scientific method, you need to be able to just blast them out. Like, it's not going to say, state your hypothesis here. Identify your control. What is your independent variable? I don't believe it's going to say that, y'all. I think it's going to be like, boom, here's your information. Design an experiment. Now, if you're not confident you can do that, it's almost like your teacher just had you write something out for an open note AP exam. I don't know, y'all. See if y'all can figure that one out. But feel free to watch it again. I also put in there, and I meant it, I'm willing to throw down some bonus points for us taking care of the fam. If you find something else that deals with the scientific method, throw it out there. Let's watch it. It's one of your 2. You got to get this. Like, if they're telling you the scientific method's going to be on there, you got to be able to go through it. You can't just be like, I don't know what these crazy words are saying. Uncle Slim. Like, we can't have that. Oh, no, you lost connection. That's terrible. So, get it together, children. Use your APness, and let's get this. Let's knock this out. Like, you cannot you cannot not do the whole, Caleb missed 11:11. Good call, Logan. You cannot miss that. So please understand, my thoughts are, where I thought we were, where I hope we are, is you understand they're going to ask you the scientific method, and you've locked that down. And now I'm giving you all the knowledge to back up whatever that experiment is, so you can get them points. Do you think my mom can write my FRQs for me? I broke my wrist writing. Oh God. You know what, Chloe? Let's not talk about that on the internet. Let me call your mom here in a little bit, and let's you know. Yes. I'm assuming it was your writing wrist. Let's just talk about that later. Because the rest of the story is, I had a little girl last year that broke her wrist, but it was too late and they didn't approve it. But let's not. I'll call you. Okay, I'll call you. I'll call your mom. Whatever. We'll talk. Okay. So that's what I got to say about that. Like, if you need to watch it again, if you need to watch it 3 or 4 times, if you need to find something else, if I have not been clear, one of your FRQs is designing an experiment. The thing is on the computer, but you can take a picture and send it in. You guys are so incognito. I love it. So I hope we're all clear now. One of your 2 FRQs is going to be designing an experiment. I do not anticipate that they are going to tell you the steps of the scientific method. I feel like that's going to be on you. I feel like you're going to have to talk about, I loved that he talked about measurements. I love that he talked about specifically giving units for your measurement. I love, hopefully, I don't know if you guys picked up on it or not, but he talked about the units were metric, not English. And I don't know that we talked a lot about that in here, but let me say metric. So not inches, not pounds, not Fahrenheit. Now, sometimes they give us data in Fahrenheit. Don't forget if they do. But International System of Units, SI units, is what scientists use, and those are all metric. Let's see. I am sorry, but did we have to make an example for the assignment? No. Oh, that's okay, Harry. So it was up to you. If you needed to just make a list, then you just make a list. If you wanted to do a full-blown practice and be like, I'm going to practice doing an extra, like one person just like basically retyped the video, and I was like, okay. So you do what you got to do. This is your chicken, you pluck it. Those slides that popped up with words is what you had to write down. Right. I mean, that was it. That was all you had to write down. And if you wanted to add to that. Now, the other thing I want to continue, and I will continue to remind you guys of this, is that it has said on my chat group things that, sorry, I've got a cord problem, that they have designed the FRQs for you to run out of time. Like, it's going to be so much information that they've designed it for you to not get through it. So you've got to be sure to make your points, make them succinct. Time is of the essence. Have your environment established to be as fast as possible. Okay, so chapter 7 is small. I feel like I went a little in depth. Like 7-2 is big, so we can talk about whether we break that up into 2 days or not. But I've started chapter 11, which is fun. I worked about 12 hours on Saturday. See, there's chapter 11. There you go, Chloe. That'll make you feel better. Chapter 7, there it is. I love this giraffe. So I worked about 12 hours on Saturday, and I thought that I would take a day off in the week to compensate for the fact that, you know, my husband's getting really upset at me for working all the time. And so I found that video and I was like, oh my gosh, I will give the kids this FRQ video. They'll love it. I feel like you guys are all asking me at different times for like, you want the exact question to the AP exam, which is adorbs. Don't have it. If I did, I would give it to you. I think we all know my codependency is bad enough that I would do that. So clearly I don't have it. But that was an option. And so I posted that and I was like, okay, you are gonna just take Monday off. It's a great day. It's a Monday. Take Monday off. Y'all, I worked all day yesterday. So, your 7-1, 7-2 vocab quizzes are done. It's all multiple choice this time. 50 question multiple choice test is done. This is really going to give you the information you need for biomes. Like if they throw a biome at you, I feel like they're going to throw some sort of clearly like environmental parameters. And if you're able to say that's, yeah, 18th. 14th is AP Chemistry. Don't take that one. Oh, okay, you're not getting your braces off in 2 weeks, baby. That's cute though. So anyway, 50 questions, multiple choice, and this is going to allow you to say, if you are, like, let's say, like my mentor was right, and she was talking about, like, maybe it's farming practices. You're going to be able to say, we're in the grasslands, or we're in the deciduous forest. Like, you're going to be able to throw stuff out like that, and that's going to help you. It's going to help you. So, what factors influence climate? Let's get started. I can hear Xander saying, I'm ready to learn. Weather. So the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to identify the difference between weather and climate. Now, this is a conversation that a lot of climate extremists and climate deniers argue about. Like, are you talking about it's climate change, not weather change? So weather is your day-to-day. Like today, I would say it is a mild temperature, but damp and cloudy. That is the weather. That is not the climate of Kentucky. If I were giving you the climate of Kentucky, I would say cool, moist winters, hot, humid summers. Way to make her feel better. You better not, Kaylee. Your parents have paid thousands of dollars for that. So understand the difference between weather and climate is weather is the right now. Sometimes people can say weather is days, but I always look at the weather as you check your weather app. You don't check your climate app. So, windy for all of my athletes. I think this is maybe potentially the most athletic group I've ever had in AP, so congratulations for all my triathletes and my cyclists. Word to your mama there, Brett. You know about the wind. I did not know about the wind until I became a cyclist, and let me just tell you, the only word that I can equate to cycling and the wind is demoralizing. You have never, I don't think you've ever been beat down. Like, y'all, I've been beat down. I've had a lifetime of acting like this. I know what struggle is. And let me just say, that wind coming on you on a bike is nothing like anything I felt before. Now, riding with the wind, you're like a god. You're like Zeus in a chariot. Against the wind, you just want to lay down and cry. Running in the wind, not great. Can't say I love it. Not as bad as cycling in the wind. I don't know that there's anything as bad as cycling in the wind. I don't know that I've done any like long canoes in the wind. I don't know. Maybe like it would be the equivalent of that would be like trying to paddle upstream. I feel like that would be a bad idea, but it's bad. So wind is part of weather. Climate is the huge picture. So they're saying up to thousands of years. Now, here is the thing about the thousands of years part. How long have we been taking accurate weather records? Yeah, not long is right. You know, how do you know what the temperature was like on, you know, I don't know, Mount St. Hudius or, you know, the Mojave Desert? I don't think I said either of those right. Oh, thanks, Rosie. Rosie, oh, $1 million. So, you know, thousands of years, you know, if you've got accurate weather information for thousands of years, that's cool. Usually, I think the only thing we have to go on is, yes, suck that wheel. So I found this and I was like, oh my gosh, I think this is our news station. So I threw this up here and I thought this was great. Our little guy here, I don't watch the local news very much. I watch, you know what I watch. And I thought this was great. So there you go. They teach you something every day. I like that. Ocean currents. Wow, y'all. There's a problem with living in Kentucky. We don't know a whole lot about the ocean and their currents, and I don't think that we have any deep sea fishers amongst us. Like, I don't see any of you guys being on the deadliest catch anytime soon. I don't feel like that's in our culture. But ocean currents are mass movements of water driven by winds blowing over the oceans. Now, let me say right here, guess what drives all of this? The sun. Yes, at the end of the day, connect it back to you or the sun. Currents help to determine regional climates and are key components of the Earth's natural capital. So all of this, like everything that you're looking, I picked this picture because I liked that it gave different colors so that you could see the warm currents and the cold currents, and it gave speed of current is 1 knot is 1 nautical mile, which is 6,076 feet per hour. And, you know, all of that really doesn't mean a whole lot to me. I feel like the ocean moves. That's about all I know about that. But I'm going to say if you were like a commercial fisher person, you would know all about this. And I love the shark apps where you can watch the sharks and the whales and you know, I feel like all of those, yes, on Nemo, the Crush got into what did he get into? Did he get into the Gulf Stream, the Pacific North Equator Current? Now, okay, here you'll have to look up and tell me what Crush got into, because remember they were swimming along and then he got into the something. Not really, I don't have ocean fishing. Okay, right. All right, so I'll wait for you guys to tell me about Crush, whatever he was in. So climate varies among the Earth's different regions primarily because over long periods of time, patterns of global air circulation, so that's what the circles are, and ocean currents distribute heat and precipitation unevenly between the tropics and the other parts of the world. So this is all new. I didn't teach my kids this last year at all. And some of this is in, now I can't remember which one. Oh, that's easy, the EAC. So which one's the EAC? East Australian Current. Right? Okay. So, so on your test, on the test I'm going to give you, I am going to ask you about, let's see, the air currents. Here we go. This is what I want you to know. So, 3 major effects that affect the circulation of air in the lower atmosphere. 1, there's the uneven heating of Earth's surface by the sun. So, this is talking about the angle that the sun's rays strike the Earth. And I don't feel like I'm telling you guys anything brand new when I say the equator gets direct sunlight. That's why it's the equator. I think its number is 0, right? And then they go up and down from there. I think it's 0. So air is obviously heated much more at the equator because it's getting direct sunlight, and then it's less at the poles. And also understand that we're not only, like, we're not a ball, we're not an oblate spheroid that's setting like this. We're an oblate spheroid that does like this, and then it does like this. So there's also a tilt that we're going to talk about. The intense input of solar radiation in the tropic regions leads to a greatly increased evaporation of water, and then as a result, tropical regions normally receive more precipitation than other areas on Earth. And I had never really thought about that, but it does make sense. So because the sun is directly striking the Earth at the equator, and there's lots of water at the equator, it's absorbing it, and then, you know, as it is evaporated up into the clouds, it cools, and then it drops again. So you just kind of have that curve, that it doesn't, you know, like after water gets so cool, that's when it falls. So it's only going to travel so far before it falls. And the temperature at the equator is pretty much that way all year round. So that's how the rainforests have rain every day for 365 days a year. Because, you know, like, that's cool. I never thought about the sun's role and all that. Like the hydrolytic cycle, right? Keep bringing back those biogeochemical cycles. I'm telling y'all, that's going to pay off. So the rotation of the Earth on its axis. So it does spin faster, and this is some physics for y'all. And if you look at this and you shake your head, and you're like, "Hey, lady, that no, it's okay." I found, okay, I'm not gonna play them because, but what is global circulation part 1, and then what is global circulation part 2? There's like this 3-part series, and it made me laugh because I thought, oh, whose life is that sad? Somebody's, but they did do a pretty good job of explaining particularly this, how if you were to, and they do a good job of drawing a straight line. So if you were to throw a ball, but the Earth is spinning, the ball is going to appear to curve, and that's what our winds do. Because remember, that's what we were talking about. Like, you guys think I just yammer on, and sometimes you're right, about the cycling in the wind and the running in the wind. But my point is to prove to you that wind is matter. Wind has mass and takes up space. And so just like throwing a tiny little ball, when the Earth is rotating, it appears to curve. And the ball isn't actually curving, right? The rotation of the Earth is making it appear that it's curving. So that's giving you these trade winds that appear to be curving. The winds aren't necessarily curving. We're moving underneath them, which is like, I mean, look, y'all, that's like a, whoa, dude, like, get in the EAC, you know what I'm saying? Like, whoa, let's do it, man. Am I moving, or are you moving? Or wait, are we moving? Right? Kind of one of those conversations. So, if you're not in that, then, Ella, so Ella asked, oh, or, like, the test you're giving us as in the final. No, Logan, God, you are so anxious. The unit test, like, I've given you a unit test for each one of these, the unit test. Your final is the AP exam. We've already talked about that. Cycle, yes. Okay. Or since it's a quiz grade, so Ella, I don't know about that. Like, I don't know, I'm gonna have to think about that. Look, with this new grading scale, let's face facts. Like, I don't even know if it matters at this point. Like, seriously. I don't even know that it matters at this point. Like, that's a big ask. Like, I feel like maybe those of you that came to all of them, maybe letting it be, I mean, 100-point quiz grade, like, that's a big ask. Go ahead and let me think on that one. All right, so back to this. So as a result, heated air masses rise because, right, heat rises, cool falls, and the atmosphere over these different areas is divided into these cells, which that's what you were looking at the picture before. And then we have the differing directions of air movement are called prevailing winds, which they blow almost continuously, and they distribute the heat. And so I want to say that this is probably part 3 of that video. There's this new thing where you can rename your things so you know what you're going to click on, and I like that. I just must not have done it there. So I don't, these Hadley cells, that's a thing, and they talk about it in the videos, what the Hadley cells are. I don't remember that being necessarily an AP content. I don't remember that being a point, but it could be. All right. So, and then the third reason is because of the properties of air, water, and land. So again, you'll notice these cells, right? You see the cells swirling. You see the sun's rays coming directly. We don't really have the tilt going on, but you know that's a thing. Heat from the sun evaporates ocean water and transfers heat from the oceans to the atmosphere, especially at the hot equator, and this evaporation of water creates giant cylindrical convection cells that circulate heat, air, moisture from place to place in the atmosphere. So, again, water's cool. There is something on Netflix about Netflix explains the properties of water, and I think we may need to add that to our watch list. I'm seeing on my APES page that they're talking like that. It's a really good thing to watch. So I know Luke may be the only one who's writing that down, but Netflix explains properties of water. Haven't watched it yet, but my sources say it's a good one. So, water density. Okay, so let's talk about water density. So, if you have ever went swimming, like Chad grew up at Lake Venus, and it's a spring-fed lake. This is the lake that Miss Campbell owns. Miss Rosie Campbell, the business teacher, she owns it. It's in Bremen, Kentucky. It's a place where my mom and dad swam, and it used to have a for real high dive. Like it would sway in the wind. Their high dive now was their medium dive, and the high dive was high. And yeah, I mean, I would say that kids, oh gosh, well, I know kids have swum in it for over 50 years, and it's cool. And like, it's the place where my grandpa got his nipple bit by a fish. And I, like, they're real fish in Lake Venus, and they would bite you. And this fish thought Grandpa's nipple was a worm, and it bit his nipple. And I think that that's terrible, that is one of the only memories that I have of Nanny telling me about Grandpa. But she would just laugh when she would talk about that. So the point to all of that is, if you've gone to someplace like Lake Venus, not like Atlantis, as you swim down, the water gets colder and colder and colder, right? There are multiple reasons for that. One's the sun's rays. It always comes back to the sun. But the sun can only penetrate so far in murky water. The second one is hot water, yes, rises. That's how the rain clouds happen, right? Because water evaporates and it rises up, and then as it cools, it descends. The same thing happens in bodies of water. So the warm water rises and the cool water sinks. And the goal is that maybe we get like circulation there. That's why it's always good for water to be flowing and not stagnant. So prevailing winds in irregularly shaped continents interrupt these currents, causing them to flow in roughly circular patterns between the continents. So irregularly shaped continents and winds are both causing these flowy patterns. And again, I think it's so cool that you can follow the animals by following the patterns as well. Also, you need to know that it's clockwise in the northern hemisphere and counterclockwise in the southern hemisphere. Now, let me say, I think it is true that the toilets flush in the opposite direction in Australia. I think that is true. Water also moves vertically, and we know that, right? Because we've been to the beach, we've seen the ocean water moving a little bit. Some of you guys have I've been told a lot about riptides, and we have some knowledge. We're not going to be as knowledgeable as those kids that live um, on the ocean, but we got this. So water also moves vertically. As denser water sinks, less dense water rises, and this creates a connected loop of deep and shallow ocean currents. And I'm just going to again just say that it's very important that our water stay flowing. It helps. One of the things that we don't think about that it does help is gas exchange. So remember in my classroom, that noise, the running of water, always there. The reason why the water was always there is because you have to break the surface of the water for gas exchange to occur to keep the aquatic beings alive. And it also creates that current bringing water through the filtered system, right? So you do have knowledge packed way back there in the back of your brain about why does water need to circulate. Deep currents, which now we're talking about deep, not like swimming down to the bottom of Lake Venus. Oh, I was going to tell you. So Chad would swim all the way down to the bottom of Lake Venus. Evidently, it's super deep down there, and like most people can't. And he would bring up mud, and he would present it to girls to like flirt with them. So dumb. We were married, and I will not get in the water at Lake Venus because I like fish. Y'all know I like fish, but I don't like fish. And I'm a Pisces, and they like me. You could swear y'all, you could watch the fish follow me in Lake Venus. It's crazy. Like, they want to come up and eat me. Maybe Grandpa was a Pisces too. And I don't want them biting on me. I don't want them nibbling on me. I don't like that. Like, a fish nibbles on me, and I'm pretty sure Freddy Krueger's coming to kill me. So, I don't like that. And so I'm on this float, and Chad's just pulling me around Lake Venus because that's what he wants me to do. And he swims all the way down there. He has this big clump of mud and flops it on the middle of my raft in the middle of Lake Venus. And I'm just shaking my head like, my gosh, what the heck? He's like, I could still go to the bottom. Well, good for you. And he tells me it's dark and cold down there. Okay, so we know cold, dense currents are going to be found more towards the bottom, and they're going to move more slowly than the surface currents. Think about you. It's called fish kisses. Blah. Eat your dead skin cells. Blah. We did go to a museum. I do have pictures, and Chad is sticking his hand down in one of those tanks, and it's letting the fish, let me see if I can find it real quick, and it's letting the fish eat his dead skin cells off. I'm going to go to, oh gosh, that's funny. I don't know, that's got to let me find it super. Ooh. No, that's going to let me find it super fast. I don't think it's all the way back to 2015, is it? It's disgusting, I know that. Oh, here's Lake Venus. Oh, wait. Do I have a video? Okay, so here's Chad doing a backflip off of the high dive at Lake Venus. So that's what it looks like. He's such a stud. I can't find the stupid fish, but it's disgusting, y'all. You should not let those fish eat on you. That's just, ugh. So they have this big tank, and it's full of these fish. And it's the same thing as getting like a pedicure. And you put your feet down in there, and you let the fish just go to town on your feet. That just, and you pay big bucks, and then you share, what do they, kill the fish after you're done? Like, that's what's cute. People are like, do you get new fish? No, you don't get new fish. Like, they're all eating all your dead skin. It's a way of life. Question mark? I wish I could find that for y'all. I mean, going through your life. It's a thing. Yes, it tickles. And it could be a killer. It could be Loch Ness Monster. Alright, I'm going to give up now. I apologize. I wasted enough of your time. Okay, so things that you need to know. Cold is more dense. Oh, and then the other thing, higher salinity is more dense. So we know that salt water is more dense than fresh water. You've probably done that in middle school where your teacher added salt to the water. So like things that weren't floating, and then they add salt to the water, and then they start to float. That's because things only float because of their density. So the density of water is 1. So if you have, yes, nice, look, mutualism at its best. I love that. So if you have something that is floating in water, just plain old water, it has a density that is less than 1. And if you have something that is sinking in water, it has a density greater than 1. And then if you add salt to that, some of the things that weren't floating will start to float because you increase the density of water, so you cause things to float. Also, it should make sense, and I have never done this just hit me. If you added ice cubes to your water, to your experiment, would things that were not floating float before? I'm going to say yes to that. I don't know how cold it has to get to really make a big impact. Maybe I'll have to ask Miss Koshi. But more salt, more cold, more dense. So, ocean and the atmosphere are strongly linked in 2 ways. Please note the sun is there. So they're affected by winds, and they're affected from atmospheric circulation, heat from the ocean. So wind and sun are your 2 things that are really causing things to get crazy. El Nino is for real one of your like points. I can't because I'm holding the baby. I can't grab it to tell you which one on AP Central, but you guys know you can go to AP Central and see all of your concepts. El Nino is one of them. So I just put this YouTube video in there to talk about El Nino on your vocab quiz. It's just, I'm basically just asking you what is ENSO, and you just need to know that it's El Nino, Southern Oscillation. We also have La Nina, which is the opposite. So instead of the little boy, we have the little girl. And El Ninos are times when the air patterns change and you end up with intense, like in this particular picture, they're showing you that like it gets a lot of moisture down south and a lot of arid dryness up north. And it doesn't happen to my knowledge, it doesn't happen like, oh, for sure, every this many years. Unit 4 sounds probably right. Good. Oh, good, Xander. Oh, that makes me happy. So at any rate, I think that there's so much more that comes to play than it being like a leap year. So El Nino, La Nina, this is it. And it's basically just an abnormal heating pattern that causes some areas. Now understand that this is going to be different, right? Like what hemisphere are you in? What continent are you on? So for us, and you'll notice we're smack dab in the middle, so it doesn't have nearly the impact it does as it does the northern and the southern parts of the United States. All right. Greenhouse gases, I'm going to hit them. They will not be on the AP exam. They will be on your unit exam. They will not be on the AP exam. So water, carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide. It should be nitrous dioxide. They're just saying nitrous oxides in general. Greenhouse gases are good as far as like the greenhouse effect. Greenhouse gases are bad as far as like they got loose and tried to kill us all. So we're not going to spend, like I said, we're not going to spend a lot of time because this isn't on the AP exam. This is just going to be on your unit test. So the greenhouse effect allows all of our heat that we gain during the day to remain, and it gives us like a standard for warmth, instead of, if you guys have heard on the moon, like the dark side of the moon, so like on this side of the moon, it's like 374 degrees, and then on the dark side of the moon, it's like negative 374 degrees. I don't know really what the temperatures are on the moon. Yes. So, yeah, Harry's talking about the particle collision. Yes. Very nice, Harry. Okay. So we're about to get into, yes, the rain shadow effect. And this is cool. So various topographic features of Earth's surface can create regions that have unexpected effects. So when we went to Washington State, I did not expect what I saw. I expected, when you can like be in Canada, I expected it to be cold, eh? It's crazy. It has like this mild weather all year long, and evidently it has a lot to do with the mountains that are there, which I didn't realize. So mountains do interrupt the flow of prevailing surface winds and the movement of storms. So what we can get is, it's called the rain shadow effect, and then orographic. So, fun stories. I did not pick out your AP environmental book. When I went to my first AP training, they were all like, oh, you got that book. So the reason why they felt like, oh, we got that book, was because this is one of the most difficult AP environmental books that they have made. But again, a lady who will not be named picked out my book for me, and they just ordered them. Like, I just walked in one day and there were just these books in front of me. And it's basically been on downhill from there, right? So, your book, look, if you have trouble reading your book, there's a reason why. It's a tough book. Doesn't call it orographic, but as I was like studying up on this to be studying up for y'all, orographic is used, interchangeably with the rain shadow effect. So I just wanted to share that with you. So, with the rain shadow effect, you have one side of the mountain that's getting all of this that's coming straight from the ocean. It's doing all the things that the ocean does. It's carrying the wind, it's carrying the moisture, it's got the warmth, it's doing its thing. So, it comes and it hits the mountain. Well, when it comes and it hits the mountain, it travels up the mountain. Well, what do we know as we travel up into the atmosphere? The temperature, yes, decreases. So, as the temperature decreases, the water molecules start to condense, because that's what molecules do when they get colder, right? Molecules act unexpectedly a lot like you do, right? So when you're hot, you foil out. You get as big as you can. You don't want to touch yourself, right? But when you're cold, you want to shrink in and be all like, brrr. That's what water molecules do, right? So they condense in. Well, I just told you that once they get so condensed, they get too heavy to hang out in the cloud, and they are released as precipitation. So they've hit this wall, aka mountain. They've climbed up the mountain. They've gotten so cold, they fall, snow, and there we have it, right? Well, the part of the story I never stopped and thought about was the leeward side of the mountain. And leeward is a new word for me. Like, up until 2 days ago, leeward was not a word in my vocabulary. Probably not 2 days ago, but you know what I'm saying. So, as it goes down the leeward side of the mountain, the air warms, it increases its ability to hold moisture, and then so whatever moisture is left sucks it all up and causes this side of the mountain to be like a desert. So like on this side of the mountain, it has traveled up, it snowed, it's done its thing, then it hits the peak, and then it starts coming down, starts to warm again, and it sucks all the moisture on this side of the mountain all up. So this side of the mountain can have this lush, green, fertile, lovely. And I'm sorry, Rosie, you just had a little something right there. She just like, so my apologies, Sissy. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have picked at you. Have this awesome environment, and this side of the mountain, the leeward side of the mountain, totally arid. Like, totally arid. And then I found this picture, and I was like, oh, I love this, because this is better. So, as you can see, you've got an ocean here to your left, the warm air, right? We're taking evaporated water, we're traveling up the mountain. Everybody that's ever walked up a mountain knows it gets colder and colder and colder. The water vapor cools, it condenses, it typically snows at the top of a mountain. And then, as it passes over, all the clouds are empty, warm air is warming up, starts sucking up all of the moisture that's in the air, and now we've got like a little desert. So it's totally a thing for one side of your mountain to have like one climate, and one side of your mountain to have the other climate. The leeward side, because that's my new word of the day. And then I just like this picture too, because I thought that does a good job of trying to talk about what we're saying. So that's why they call it a rain shadow, because you can have one side of the mountain that's all raining, and then there's like a shadow where there's no rain there, and it's very, very arid. Okay, so again, just in case, I threw that down on there. Death Valley is the result of a rain shadow. And I did not know that that was like a rain shadow. But, you know, anything called Death Valley, I'd say, you know, I'm probably not going to try to be there. Death Valley. Where is Death Valley? I feel like it's multiple states. It's here, right? Heat islands. This is just about the last thing we're going to talk about today. So heat islands are a thing. They may want to talk to you about microclimate. So I feel like the rain shadows, it's kind of like a microclimate. We talked about forever ago, now I can't even remember which unit that was. Central Park can be a microclimate, or like an island within this different environment. So a heat island is a man-made California. Yeah, yes, I think it's all. I can't remember how many states it goes through. So the things that contribute to a heat island are all of the awful things that we do to inner city living, right? So the concrete jungle. I think of everything that is bad about urbanism creates the heat islands. The things that we have talked about, living roofs, planting trees, getting out of the city, right? Like New York, God bless them. But the bricks, the concrete, the asphalt, all of that holds heat. It's black, right? It's dark in color often. So we're not reflecting heat, we're absorbing heat. Also, all of the oil that comes off all of our automobiles and our things. Also, because it's concrete, water can't be absorbed, right? So then we just have runoff. Let's see, smog and haze. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot this. You have the big buildings, and they block the wind. So, like, wind is just kind of stagnant in there. So, by and large, you get these heat islands that have, like, crazy higher temperatures than you do in the inner city. And then I found this graph, because we're going to be all about reading charts and graphs, that's kind of showing you, if you look to your far left, you've got this rural environment, and it's cooler in the country. There you go, Kaylee. You can get your shirt. It's cooler in the country. Till you get to the apex of the high rises, and that's going to be the hottest. And then as you come on out of that, the temperature drops pretty dramatically. And just notice, I like that this gives you both Celsius and Fahrenheit.
We're going to get into climatograms again. I feel like we read climatograms in another unit, but we're really going to get into it this unit. And then I found this, and I was like, that's cool. Who'd have thunk that downtown Louisville is 10 degrees hotter than all of the places around Louisville? We had to go to Louisville to get ACE, and I'll be honest, well, I mean, I really wasn't allowed outside, but, you know, I didn't notice that it was that dramatic. But think about that, and think about you runners, like running in a city race versus a country race. There you go. Isn't there some kind of weird vacuum or tornado in Lexington because of the surrounding buildings? So, at the University of Kentucky, Patterson Office Tower creates a wind tunnel. Like, it, for real. I hope at this point, because I was there in the mid to late 90s, and I don't think that they had surveillance cameras up at that point, but they definitely need to have it. It will rip your umbrella right out of your hand, and it's something about the way they built the buildings. And to my understanding, it was inadvertent. But yes, in the middle of campus, well, what used to be the middle of campus, POT, Patterson Office Tower, has a for real. I mean, it's not a tornado, but it does, like, if you get in the middle of a rainstorm and you're around POT, you need to look out. It's for real a thing. So this concludes for today. We're almost right at an hour. That's good. So I hope everybody understands what I wanted for your assignment yesterday. Again, we're building a ship towards our final destination, which is our AP exam. The point of hunting and gathering points at this point is moot, in my opinion. What they did to our grading scale was, I don't know, I should probably not use any words for that. For those of you that worked hard to get that A, congratulations, right? And there are other classes where kids that are now close to an A are kind of getting obnoxious with their teachers about this, that, and the other. We're not going to do that. We're going to keep doing what we're doing. So, and unless I'm told you anything different, like I said, we're just going to keep doing this. We're going to keep practicing, and we're going to keep getting better. I do have to look up for you guys. Yes, it is, Kaylee. I do have to look up to you guys. I'm going to send you an invite to I think it's a renewable, non-renewable study session with AP Advanced Kentucky, that group that I'm with. And if you guys want to go and participate in it, you can. I'm just trying, yes, it does. I am just trying to give you guys as much as you need to be successful. So that's my only goal here. I think you guys can do it. I know you guys can do it. So if you want to join review sessions with these other people across Kentucky, I want you to have that opportunity. I don't want you to feel like you have to. You already know what the FRQs are going to be. And I think you know but we're going to keep preparing. So, tomorrow, let's do, what is tomorrow, Wednesday? Tomorrow, let's do 7-1 only vocab words. And that's what, 10 words? 8 words? 8 words. And then 7-2 has 17 words. So we'll do 7-1 tomorrow. That's Wednesday. Thursday, we'll do 7-2 lecture, which is, it's bigger. So 7-2 goes all the way through. Are you seeing this? Oh. Yeah, and then look, like 7-3 is nothing. Oh, look at that little family, y'all. Okay, so 7-2 on Thursday. Let's go through the deserts. Let's just plan on doing that. We'll go through the deserts. And then Friday, we'll talk. I'm envisioning doing, how about we do the deserts on Thursday, the grasslands on Friday, then we'll do 7-2 on Monday, quiz. So there won't be any lecture on Monday. You'll just have a quiz to take. How about that? Does that sound better? Yeah, oh, for sure. Okay, so Luke's asked again, can we use our Super Saturday passes on assignments that took place before the pandemic? Absolutely. Kaylee saying we got passes. No, but she has a list. And I do still have that list. I feel like I have that. I feel like that list is in my little like keep thing that's right there. I'm confused. I thought she was only going to change her grade on quizzes. Yes. So that is a yes. So, again, I'm gonna have to sit and think about, like, I feel like I was asked earlier when this started if I was gonna count your all's quizzes, like these quizzes. I love those birds, y'all. I gotta get off of this page. I'm losing my focus. So I was asked if I was gonna if I would let you, since I was starting to count your unit exams as test grades, as a quiz grades, could we use those? And I was like, oh, I don't know. I have to think about that. And then we got this new grading scale, and now my knee jerk is no. I don't like that anymore. Like I feel like your gift has already been given hugely. So I feel like that's like, oh, I just gave you a pot of gold, and you're like, oh, well, will you shine it for me too? Yeah, just hang on. So, so I feel like we need to keep it to like vocab quizzes and good morning, Angel.
Good morning.
Those kinds of things. I think.
Have a fun class.
Oh, they are. They're about done.
Us.
So that's right. That's yes on the first. So that's how I'm feeling. When they came and they changed the grading scale, like, okay, I'll tell y'all what I thought. I mean, it's not like this is recording or anything. So when they changed the grading scale, it hurt my feelings because I felt like I was already taking care of you all. I felt like I'd made the changes and I'd adjusted our life to still ensure that you were going to continue to be successful and to still reward you guys for the hard work that you were putting in. And then, like, seriously, like, in a blink of an eye, it's announced that there's this new grading scale, and I had no idea, and it just came out of nowhere. And so, I mean, look, I'm fine. Like, I believe you get out of it what you put into it, and I believe that if you're just taking this class for the grade, and that's all you wanted, and you got what you wanted, then God bless. Like, go, get on down with your bad self. You're gonna have to work to the end to stick the landing here. So, I also want to remind you how embarrassing it would be for you to like get an A in the class and get like a 1 on the AP exam. That would be a terrible, terrible fate. So, it's already weighted. Remember, AP classes are already weighted. So, in essence, like, I'm pretty sure everything above a 70 gives you 4 points on your GPA. It's a little crazy. So, oh, it is afternoon, sorry. So that's my 2 cents, is it just came out of nowhere, and it just, I don't know, it cut my knees out from underneath me, and I wish somebody had asked, but they didn't. And so, yeah, we've got some people who are laying down now, And we got some people that, there are some other, not you all, there are some other teachers that have had kids that are like, so now I'm close to an A. Now I want you to get up and work for me. And I'm like, oh, I'd be going after some kneecaps. So, that's where I'm at. Let's recap one more time what I said. Let me write it down. So, we all, aka me, remembers what I said. So, what's today's date? It's the 28th. Well, I did the whole thing last week without looking at it. Mock exam is this coming Friday. Yeah, mock exam is this Friday. Oh, we're not going to do anything this Friday. It's a mock exam. Ella, I get what you were saying now. See, this is why we needed to do this. Okay, so Monday, you did YouTube. Video. And I'm going to put FRQ next to that. Today is Tuesday. You did 7-1 lecture. Tomorrow is Wednesday, and you're going to do 7-1 vocab quiz only. So no live stream tomorrow. Thursday, we're going to do, what did I say? Deserts, I think. We're going to do 7-2 deserts. Friday, you're going to do your mock exam. And then they're going to make me grade those at night online. So everybody else is writing in and they're like, tell us how many AP students you have. And everybody else is like, I have 7. I have 11. I was like, I have 73. So they're giving us like 3 hours to grade your all's FRQs. It will take me a little bit longer than that. Okay, so on Monday, we will do grasslands. And maybe the other, we'll do 7-2 vocab on Tuesday the 5th. I'm going to say, so we're going to test over this next Thursday or Friday. All right? So that's the 7th or the 8th will be your unit test for this. So I have your vocab quiz on the 29th, 7-1, 8 words. I have your next quiz Tuesday, May 5th, 7-2. And then depending on how we do on Monday, we will either conclude lecture on the 6th, test on the 7th, which is a Thursday, or we will conclude lecture on the 7th and test on the 8th, which is a Friday. And then we'll go into chapter 11 lightly and major review, right, for all of this. The only other thing I want you guys to be thinking about is concepts that you really, really, really want to go over. And we'll have to think about that. I'll have to think about how I want you guys to do that. Like in my head, I'm thinking you need to, like we need to come up with a document or something that's like, I feel like we don't know enough about this. The soil triangle, I did put in this lecture, so you will know how to use the soil triangle. Yeah. So I know that was on the list, and so I'm going to take care of that. Okay. So am I taking the mock exams as a grade? I don't know. I want to say yes, that I want to give you a grade. And then I want to say no, because god dang, like, that's one more thing, right? Like, you guys, I don't know, Kaylee. I don't know. I don't know. That's a lot. Biogeochemical cycles. And Lucas, hear me when I say they like the nitrogen cycle than they like any other cycle. So not only have I continued to go over these biogeochemical cycles every daggone day, I feel like, be reading on the nitrogen cycle. That's the one they typically like. Okay, so that's what we're looking at. I feel like I just gave you a 2-week forecast. I want you to know I love you. I want you to know that this gray is getting out of control. You guys may be seeing me in a hat for the rest of my life. Rosie made friends with a cat. Well, I mean, she's already made friends with a cat, but, you know, we played with the cat today. I'm getting ready to post that on Facebook. That's about it. On the mock exam, if a student does well, they will choose to have it as bonus point. Do they not do well? It doesn't count as a grade. Purpose, you don't take it as a grade, but give us our results. Oh, yeah, for sure. So here is, okay, after I put these things on, it takes me a while. So, my understanding is, we're going to be grading them over the internet. So it's not just going to be me grading your FRQs. It's going to be like the APES is going to be grading your FRQs. And so I've never done this before, right? This is part of this Advanced Kentucky grant that I'm so thankful for. But my understanding is you will get your results. And they will not be my results. That they will be others' results. I could be totally wrong about that, and I may be the old lady in the shoe, the old spinster that's sitting there like 7 days later crying. Still, because I cannot explain to you why it takes 7 years longer to grade something on a computer screen than it does on a piece of paper, but it just does. So yes, you're going to get your results back of the mock exam, and my understanding is that it's going to be like graded. By people that don't know you and don't love you like I do. And they're going to give you like the hammer. And yes, that is my understanding. So you will get those results back. And I feel like that in and of itself is kind of like your grade, your reward. I'm in my heart, I'm leaning against giving, like, rewarding, like you did the best on the AP exam, the mock exam, just because I feel like that may add some unnecessary angst to a situation that people are already having anxiety about. And I've got your guys, you know how I'm crazy about getting your grades in, keeping your grades up to date. I feel like that may cause me some grief. Oh my gosh, so for the test, I only had 4 people email me, so good job. I don't know why Google did what it did, but it did. And you guys had a 7-question curve. And, yeah, I think it was good. So, yeah, that's my understanding. You will get your results. I don't know that I will give you a grade for that. You know, like I put 18 points down on the video just so that I would have, you know, like something to go by to show that you guys did the video from yesterday. But, yeah, that's my thoughts. I don't know if we'll do a grade. I need to see what it is first. I've never done this like this, so I need to see what it is first. Okay, anything else? All right, family, I love you. I'm praying for you. Chloe, especially praying for your sweet little wrist. I'm so sorry. Let me know whatever we need to add to the prayer list, you know. We'll just keep that going. All right, I'm not seeing anything else. I bet Xander's hungry. All right, fam. I'm going to get to YouTube. There's my birds. All right, family. I love you. I will not see you tomorrow. I will see you on Wednesday.